Okay. Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona for the final night on this amazing 7-month road trip that we are taking. Today was an awesome day. It was really, really good. Zephy is conked out on my bed. I don't think you probably won't see her today. She just basically came in the RV and went straight to bed, literally. Oh, sorry, she did eat and drink first. Then she went to bed. She's got her priorities right. But started the day off. Actually, last night was interesting because we went for a walk around the park, around the RV park last night, around the outer edges of it, because I wanted to go and just explore a little more. And when we've gone out of the RV, when we leave the RV, we always go out to the left. When we come in from the RV, we approach from that same direction. So when we were coming back last night, I thought, well, this will be interesting because one, it's dark, and two, we're approaching the RV from a direction we haven't done before. And we're walking down the middle of the road coming towards the RV, and I'm just like letting Zephy loose on the leash and letting her do her own thing. And I thought, I'm not going to indicate that we're close that we're close to the RV or anything. I'm just going to see what she does. And we're walking down the middle of the road, and all of a sudden she just veers off to the left and straight up to the front door of the RV. And I thought, wow, doesn't matter which direction we come from. Obviously, the RV has some sort of homing smell that she senses, and she went right up to the front door. So that was really, really cool. Then this morning we're up, we're having snuggle time, and and she starts like reaching like she's going to throw up. And I'm like, oh, great. So I jump out of bed, grab her, and put her in the shower, because it's the easiest place for me to clean up when she throws up, is put her in the shower. And obviously the movement stopped her throwing up action, and she stood there for a bit, and then no, and so she came and hopped back on the bed. And then a few minutes later she starts reaching again, so I pick her up, put her back in the shower. Nope, didn't work. And it settled it all down again. I thought, great, so doing these sudden grabs and moving her and dumping her in the shower seems to work to stop her throwing up. So then we're laying there, and I'm sitting laying there reading, and all of a sudden she gets up, jumps off the bed, and I hear this noise, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's reaching again. So I jump out of bed to go put her in the shower. She's already standing in the shower. I'm like, smart dog. She's already learned that when you want to throw up, because every time she's tried to throw up in the RV, I've picked her up, put her in the shower. So it's finally clicked that if I'm going to throw up, I need to be in the shower, because Mum's going to put me here either way. So it turned out that she had a chunk, like about this big of a chunk, from the Himalayan salt that she threw up. And I was like, okay, I didn't realize that it had gotten so small. So I'm going to have to be more vigilant with the Himalayan salts, that when she starts shrinking them down, to watch the size of them and make sure that I get rid of them before they get small enough that she can swallow them. Because obviously it's blocking thing. It gets in her stomach and it blocks stuff because she threw it back up. We then went down to the, so we got up, got showered, got dressed, went down to the dog run area, and she was not interested today in running around at all. Nope, didn't want to do it. Walked in there, took her off the leash. She walks over to the grass and just like, yeah, I'm just happy here. Tried to get her run. She did a couple of short runs, nothing fast-paced or anything. And then she walks back to the gate and stands by a leash. I'm like, okay, we're out of here. So we came back to the RV, and before we had left the RV, when I was in the process of getting after my shower, before I got dressed, she comes out here and jumps up on the dash, sits there and looks at the curtain, and then looks at me, looks back at the curtain, as though to say, come on, get it open. And I'm like, I am not dressed. I am not opening no curtains right now. You're going to have to wait till I get dressed. So she actually had to wait till we got back from our walk. And then I opened the curtain for her, and she just laid down, and she stayed there the entire morning. She got up once to have a drink of water and then got straight back up there again. And she just laid there in the sun. And at one point, she's like stretched out completely in the sunshine. But she finds it a great place to sit there and watch what's going on out the front. The only issue I have with this RV, as far as that front area is concerned, is the blind at the front has to have the key to operate it. So I have to have the key in at least the on position so that I can raise and lower it. And it's sort of like, so on my wish list for my next RV is to not have a blind that needs a key to raise it and lower it. Because then she can have the entire front dash and spend her entire day up there if she wants to, looking out on the neighborhood and having like a 180-degree view of everything that's going on in front of the RV. So that's the next wish. So a deep dashboard and no key required for the blind. that's two things on my wish list for my next RV. So then I got some work done. I got a lot of work. I got stuck in, got an amazing amount of work done this morning, which was awesome. Had a couple of calls from clients, got them taken care of real quick, helped them out with with questions that they had. And then my friend Kymberlee turned up, and I met Kymberlee, when was it? Oh, it was years ago. Probably about, we were trying to remember. I know it was in Reno, and she introduced me to doTERRA oils. And she knows a lot about oils, so it's kind of cool what she knows, and just to hear her talking about them and some of the functions that they have. And when I tell her about some of the stuff that I do, and like I was telling her about Zephy with having issues in the car and how I've got this supplement for her, she said, "Well, you do realize you can use digest, and you just put a little bit with a fraction of coconut oil and just rub it on the belly." And I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay." So she's telling me how many drops to do and all that sort of stuff. So it was kind of cool. So I learned some new stuff with regards to Zephy and oils and how I can use them on her. And they've got the Terra Shield, which you can put on her back to help ward off fleas and ticks. And I'm like, great, excellent. So it's nice learning natural stuff. So then she graciously allowed Zephy to come for a car ride with us. So we packed Zephy a bag that had her water bottle in there. We had some treats in there. We had a couple of toys in there for her, and took her bed. We put her into the back of the car, and we had one of the seats down in the back, and we had her bed on top of that. But she just would go and lie around the back of the seat in the trunk area, and I had a little safety belt harness there with us as well. And we drove out past old Tucson Studios, which I saw last time. And from Tucson Studios, when you're there, you look up in the hills, and they're called the Golden Gate Mountains, and they've got the gate pass that comes down between, which you quite often see in Western movies when they're coming through a pass and down a hill. That's the image you see. So we drove past old Tucson Studios, took a side road, and drove up over the pass, and then she pulled into this and is viewing the scenic area, and we were able to see down through the pass, and you could see old Tucson Studios right there in the distance. So it was really, really cool. Got some pictures, got Zephy out. We took some pictures with Zephy, and it was just an amazing view from up there. It was incredible. And then you've got all of these cacti, the tall, straight cacti, which I totally cannot remember the name of right now. It's the only place that they grow. And those are the ones that grow straight up, and some of them will have the arms out and that sort of thing. And I learned that to get the arms, they have to be, I think it was between 50 and 75 years old before they get those arms that come out. So if you think of like the typical like Western thing where you've got the straight cacti, and then you've got the ones with the arms that come out on the side that kind of makes it look like a pitchfork or a trident or something like that. They don't get those arm pieces till they're about 50 to 75 years old. So, cacti obviously live a very long time. So it was interesting because Kymberlee is a wealth of information on what goes on in and around Tucson and stuff too, and so it was really, really cool. So we then went into downtown area, went to Hotel Congress, and went to the Cup Cafe for lunch. And I'd already pre-warned her that she was asking what type of food. I said, just about anything as long as there's no onions in it, 'cause I'm allergic to those. And I'm very sensitive to spice. So she went to this one place that had a variety menu, but when we started asking the questions about different dishes and stuff, oh no, you can't have that because of this. You can't have, like, I couldn't even have fish and chips. I couldn't have the trout Benedict. I couldn't have and so there's just a lot of stuff. So I ended up with this really, really yummy omelet that I had avocado, spinach, mushrooms, and Gruyere cheese and Havarti cheese in it. It was yum. And yes, Zephy did get, so this is Zephy's first time in a restaurant. So we're in an outdoor patio area, and we had one of those heaters right next to our table because it was a little chilly back there. We were in the shade. I eventually put my jacket on, but otherwise I was just sitting there in my short sleeves. And poor Kymberlee was like bundled up. She says, it's so cold. And she goes, you're sitting in short sleeves. And I said, well, I'm at that point where, do I put my jacket on? Do I not put it on? Am I going to get too hot if I put it on? So I'm kind of on that borderline thing. And then it was like, I'm just going to stick it on. And Zephy was under the table, and they actually brought out a water bowl for Zephy and gave her a bowl of water to have under the table there with her. And but trying to get her to stop going out around was kind of fun. And she did get to eat some of my omelette. and she had a treat with stuff with toys in it, but a toy stuffed with treats, not a treat stuffed with toys. Jeepers. A toy stuffed with treats, which she demolished in like 2 minutes. It was done. And the Hotel Congress is a famous hotel. So I learned. And it is across the road is the train station. And the Minard train station is where all the celebrities used to come into Tucson on the train. They would then disembark, walk across the road, and stay at the Hotel Congress. But the Hotel Congress is famous for another reason, because it is at the Hotel Congress in whatever year it was. I don't know the year. I totally forgot to check that part out. But John Dillinger was arrested at the Hotel Congress back whenever it was, and it would have been in the 1930s some point, because I know that he passed in like 1934, so it was sometime before that he was arrested there. So that was kind of cool. And then we went for a walk around the downtown area. Really cool area, nice and clean. It was very, very clean. Lots of different restaurants, cafes, bars, that sort of thing. And even you go down an alleyway, there was a whiskey distillery down there. There was a courtyard behind a market area, and Kymberlee really wanted me to go into the market area because it's got the old wooden flooring in there, and she wanted me to see it. But of course, we had Zephy, so we couldn't go in there. And Zephy's just busy walking around, and it was Zephy's. So this was the first for Zephy. Zephy's first time in a restaurant, so that was an experience. First time walking around city streets. Normally, when we go walking with Zephy, we're in the campground, we're at a dog run area. Or an rest area when we're driving. I've never taken her out yet in a shopping center or in city streets until today. So she actually did. We've still got a lot of learning to do, but she did pretty well overall. And then we had a great time just wandering around and having a look at these different cafes and stuff, and she was showing me all of this stuff. And then there was this place called the Playground, and they had this really cool outdoor area, and they had these 3 TV screens up there that had these gilt gold frames, old-fashioned gilt gold frames around them, which looked really, really cool. And then there was a staircase to go upstairs. And where were we? We were... Oh, when we got back into the car and we're getting ready to head back here to the campground, I looked up at the playground and you could see the upstairs area, and it was basically like a huge rooftop bar that had a covering over it. You got these gorgeous, she says you get gorgeous views of the mountains and stuff up there, but they had these really cool little chandeliers hanging down as well. So it looks like a great place. So great for daytime, for if you kept meeting up with people for a cuppa or for lunch. Great place for nightlife down there. It was really cool because I hadn't been down to the old town, into the Tucson area yet, into the downtown area. So it was a really cool day. And then she came and dropped us back off here at Sparkles, and Zephy had something to drink, something to eat, and she's been on the bed ever since. So tonight is going to be getting ready to hit the road tomorrow. Tomorrow we head to Deming, New Mexico. I have to find somewhere to fill up my propane tank before we leave because it's sitting around half. I did have the heat on overnight, set at about 55, only because I like cold temperatures, so I didn't want to get in too hot. And it came on a couple of times. The first time it came on, Zephy started whining until I said, it's okay, it's fine. We're done. We're good. We're good. And I didn't hear her whine any time after that when the air kicked in. That it did wake me up a little bit sometimes during the night, but I never heard her whining, so that was good. But it was nice to have it on, and it would only stay on for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then it would just switch back off again, just enough to keep the temperature here. So I have to find a place tomorrow to see if I can get it filled up with propane. I am going to go across the office tonight before 7 o'clock to see if they have propane filling here, but I don't know if they do RV or if they just do the small tanks. So I've got to see if they're able to do the RV. If they are, yes, we're in, we're good. And then tomorrow we will head out, and we're heading to Deming, New Mexico, which had some light snow yesterday. We're going to be going up around 2,000 feet between Tucson and Deming, because Deming sits about 2,000 feet higher than Tucson, and their nights are going to be cold. Last I checked, they were going to be around the low 30s, high 20s. So that's one reason I wanted to make sure I had the propane heat working. So that's going to be interesting because the day temperatures are meant to be in the 50s. So it's going to be a little cool up there. I'm going to have to pull out the very few winter woolies that I have with me and put them on, and it's going to be an interesting trip. But our trip tomorrow, I think, is like a 3.5 hour road trip. So tonight is going to be laundry, checking the next exit to see where rest areas are along the way. I do have a couple of things I have to pick up from a Walmart, and I need the full-size Walmart because they have the RV store in the full-size one. There's a couple of things that I need from there that if I went to like Camping World or something, it would cost me twice as much. So I need a Walmart. But there's a few exits down the 10 on our way out of town, so we'll stop there on the way in the morning. But apart from that, it's been an awesome day going out and around in downtown Tucson. Up over Gate Pass was really, really cool. Zephy did awesome in the back of Kymberlee's car. We had her bed there, but she preferred to be in the actual trunk area as far as her safety harness would let her get into the back of the trunk area. And basically, you just turn around and all you can see is her head sticking out the side of the seat there. But overall, Zephy had a really good day and did pretty well on her first day out going into public spaces like restaurants and streets and that sort of thing. So it was really good. I was very proud of her, but we've still got a lot of training to go. We didn't do any training today, although I did teach her to go into the shower to throw up. That was kind of necessity. But after twice, she figured it out for the third time. So overall, it was a really, really good day. We had a lot of fun. It was great to catch up with Kymberlee again. Hadn't seen her in a long time. So thank you again, Kymberlee, for taking us out and about in Tucson today. We had a blast, and I'm looking forward to seeing you when we're next in Tucson. So I hope you all guys, jeepers, I'm a little on the tired side. Hope you all have, excuse me, a super fantastic sparkling evening. I am off to find out about gas, about propane, get some laundry done. Then I'll have dinner, have an early night, get things packed up. Excuse me, I got hiccups all of a sudden. Fortunately, I don't do a lot of unpacking when I'm doing short stays, so I don't have a lot to pack up. So we'll get everything packed up tonight, and so in the morning, all we've got to do is let Zephy out in the dog run, let her run the energy off, and then come back, unplug, lift the feet, unplug, pull the sides in, lift the feet, and we're out of here. So have a super fantastic sparkling evening. We will catch you guys tomorrow from Deming, New Mexico. Hoping they have Wi-Fi. Never thought to ask, but they should. Catch you tomorrow. Hey, Conera.